Action.
All right.
This is all the face.
So the inner curve of the neck is where I snipped. The collar, which is the outer curve, is where I cut triangles. When I pressed it, they all look the same. You see that?
Right.
Just make sure that you keep your seam allowances open and you don't drag them all to one side. Actually, I did that. I had to take one apart and fix it. Okay? You guys understood what I just said?
Right.
See this seam allowance? Don't let it sew like this. Keep it seams open so they will lay flat. Okay? So after I did this, I'm going to show you in here that I did not do it. Okay? See how I have a 1/4 of an inch and a 1/4 of an inch here? See that when I pressed it, it's folding in here? I'm going to get the scissors and going to snip up to where I stitched so it releases it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The other one
You do that, Shai.
I'll do the other one.
Please, thank you.
Oh my God.
You put in
See how I stitched it up to the 1/4 of an inch and see how it's folded there? I need to release it. So I'm going to cut up to where my stitching line is.
It's angled. You put angled, right? Not
Huh?
straight.
No.
You put angled.
I
Then-
cut
yeah.
into that point. So then I release it. See that I have both 1/4 of an inch X released.
And you're cutting from the half-inch
Yeah.
seam allowance.
Yeah. So now I'm going to do right sides together. And I'm going to sew only the collar from this little point of the 1/4 of an inch all the way around up to that 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to reverse. Okay? So I'm going to pin only the collar. Okay? See that my seam allowance is pressed open? I'm going to push my seams out so I can see where I stitched at the 1/4 of an inch. Okay? Everybody okay? Can you guys see from there? You can lie. Okay. So because one is on the bias and the other one is not, it might not look like it is the same size. So you need to make it fit. If it doesn't fit, thank you. Somebody came to class. Anyway. And remember, this is at a 1/4 of an inch. See the other side? My seams are pressed open. I'm going to push the seam allowance away because I'm going to come on the collar and stitch exactly up to this point. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I want the seam allowances to not be interfering on that. Okay?
Can I see really quick?
I'll go back and show you.
So you sew the collar first, then you sew the lapels.
See that it kind of one is bigger than the other. Just make sure that you do get the 1/2 an inch seam allowance. Because if you don't get the seam allowance, then your piece is much bigger. But this is the bias, so it will stretch. So I'm going to ease it in, and this is all on the pinning, right? So if I had a notch here in the center, which I should have, and I found that I don't have it, it would have been easier for me to handle 1/2 and 1/2 instead of all the way around. But like Kim's father said, if it doesn't fit, it must have quit. It actually fits.
Good.
Before it didn't, now it did. So watch this.
Where do you
I'm
start
pushing the seam allowances away, both sides, and I'm going to stitch here a 1/4 of an inch right here on this corner, reverse, go to the corner, pivot, go to the end, pivot, and then again end here, pushing the seam allowances to the 1/4 of an inch. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's do it. So notice, I'm pushing the seam allowances away. I'm not gonna stitch on top of the seam allowances. And I'm gonna get my needle really close so I can have at 1/4 inch exactly on my stitching line from before. See that I'm looking? Here, you wanna zoom? See that I'm looking exactly at the stitching line. Yes? Okay. You don't want to be pushing the seams to one side because it's going to be pulling from the inside really weird. And here I'm going to end, making sure that I push the seam allowance away, and on the other side I push the seam allowance away. You guys saw that?
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to stitch exactly where the thread is at 1/4 inch.
Is there going to be any gaps?
Huh?
Is there going to be any gaps?
Why? That's a different store.
No, because I think he's pushing it. Like he goes
Exactly up to that seam. You guys can see it? Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
I'll just take a photo. If you don't mind.
30 degrees, 30 degrees, very close to the corner. For those of you that haven't seen this before, you don't just cut at 45 degrees. You cut 30 and 30 because once we turn this inside out and those seams are going to be inside, you don't want them to overlap in the center. It's going to give you a bulky. I like a pointy color. I don't like to be a
Rounded.
maybe pointy color. Okay? So 30 degrees, 30 degrees. So now I do ET from home, right? One finger, and I put one into the other. And then I get something sharp like personality. And then you push it out. And look how beautiful the corner is.
Wow.
Feel it. For those of you who weren't here before, see that there's no bulk? Right? Huh?
Your colors won't be seen at pipe.
I'm gonna make sure that we're going to push our seams in the inside. So remember the understitch that we have done? Right? Now, because I have this seam right here, I know this is the wrong side because my color is gonna flip over it, right? It's gonna flip like this.
Yes.
So this is the underside, right? This is a tricky thing because this color is gonna have the understitch here. This lapel is gonna have the understitch in here, and we're gonna stop about 1.5 inches before the break point, and then we're gonna start with from the break point on the opposite side, because one is on the outside and the other one flips out. Okay? We're gonna go back to that. You guys are gonna see it. But we're gonna have a beautiful corner right here. Anybody knows why? Because I did it. Okay. So what is the
You were
understitch?
going to do it.
We're going to make sure, for those of you that haven't done it before, we're going to push the seam allowances towards the lining, which is the under color, and we're going to stitch about 1/8 inch from it. You do not reverse. You stop before the corner. You skip. Do not reverse. Do the rest. Skip the other corner and then stop. When you press it, it's going to give you a beautiful roll line.
How does it
Okay.
not come apart if you don't reverse it?
It's just the top stitching. So if it comes apart a couple of stitches, that's okay. It's just an understitch. It's for pressing. Okay? So when we do it, you need to make sure that you spread it really well. Don't just do it like that because you're going to create a pleat. You're really going to be spreading it.
And can I ask, the seam allowance, you're pushing it towards...
The seam allowances is on the lining, and I'm going to stitch on the lining. So if you notice, I'm stitching on the under color with the seam allowances only. Right? We're good? This is the color that it has the center seam in the middle. That's on the bias. So that's the undercolor. We're pushing the seams to the undercolor and the seam allowances. And we're going to spread it. Okay? So once I get close to the corner, I simply stop, push the corner away, make sure that my seams are towards the undercolor, right? Don't worry about the threads. We're gonna cut them out a little bit later, okay? And always remember to spread it, right? You're gonna go home and it says, what did you learn today? I learned how to spread it. So like, I think you're doing a different job. Anyway,
Something's getting caught.
I got caught.
Something.
Well, it's a thread. So we're gonna cut the thread. There we go. See that? I'm stitching on the undercolor with the seam allowances open it. Okay? I don't want anybody to fold it together and give it top stitching on the edge. Okay? That's not the kind of jacket that we're doing. That would be a shirt, but that would not be a blazer. Okay? So we push the seam allowance. Make sure that your seam allowances are going
lapel.
towards the undercolor, right? And we're going to spread it. Now, if you guys don't like to do it by machine, I can show you how to do it by hand.
Who's complaining?
I have Benadryl for anybody who has an allergy. Nobody complained?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
I actually learned how to do all of this by hand.
I like us.
Huh? And it's not that the machines didn't exist, because I'm reading some of your minds. Exactly.
What do you mean? He's only 19, so 5 years ago.
Exactly, these machines available. Is it only because tailoring's done here?
Say it again?
What were they trying to teach you guys, like doing it by hand and not with machine?
They were showing me all those techniques to do bespoke type of tailoring. It was a strictly tailoring class. This is not a tailoring class, but we're doing some tailoring techniques.
But the menswear, they must be completed by
Yes. So for those of you that haven't seen this before, look at how now it's going to be so easy to press it. See how it nicely rolls in? And when you press it, look at how beautiful it rolls on the outside.
Wow.
Wow, that's the Canaan effect. So now we're gonna do now the lapel all the way down to the facing. So again, we're gonna do exactly the same thing, but this time we're gonna do from the lapel. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push the seam allowances away so you have it cleared, right? You see it? So we're gonna start on that point, make this curve all the way down until it ends,
That's the center front.
okay? Until it ends. We don't have a lining, so we don't have to worry about it, okay? And then we'll do the other side.